I had a dream 2 nights ago
that you hope will come true.
That I saved Aliabad.
From what?
An attack, a missile attack that was happening wherever she was in India. I know we were in India and I could see the missiles coming off of they looked like barracks off the top of the thing. And there were a bunch of other people with us, but I grabbed her, held her close, and we ran. Where were you, Ranbir? You were nowhere in my dream, bro. Glad to see you're riveted. Bakwas! Juice!
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions. I'm Corbin.
I'm Rick.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter for more juicy content. Thank you to everybody who supports on Patreon. Follow us through the account, subscribe to the like button. Today, the new Salaar trailer has come out. Came out last night. It was supposed to come out about 9:12 our time.
It was. We were ready.
Like, postponed!
We were locked and loaded.
For like 2 p.m. And then also, it didn't come out at that time. It got postponed even more. I think it
really glad we didn't try to get ready for that one.
I think it ended up coming out at like 4.
Because that would have been 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning.
I think it actually came out around 4 a.m. our time. Why does it always happen with Indian stuff? Is it because they do it at events and like stuff gets pushed? And is that why?
I'm confident when it is done at an event and the star is coming and folks are late, which I know is unusual for Indians to be late to things. I'm married to an Indian. Stop it. It's pretty much it's got to be that.
Those are just bongos.
Got to be that.
Am I right?
Yeah.
They're just too busy eating fish. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Burn. Bakwas. Anyways, let's just get into this. See what this is going to be about.
చిన్నప్పుడు నీకో కథ చెప్పేవాడిని. పర్షియన్ సామ్రాజ్యంలో సుల్తాన్ ఎంత పెద్ద సమస్య వచ్చినా తన బలమైన సైన్యానికి కూడా చెప్పకుండా ఒక్కడికే చెప్పేవాడు.
మెకానిక్కి స్పానర్లో రెంచ్లో ఎలా వాడాలో తెలుస్తుంది, కానీ గన్లు వాడటం ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది?
సారీ భాయ్, మే भी चले तो ఓకే ఎంట్రీ చేయాలి. సుల్తాన్ కావాలనుకున్నది ఏదైనా తెచ్చిచ్చేవాడు. వద్దనుకున్నది ఏదైనా అంతం చేసేవాడు.
Wait. I need a drink. Mandunda?
అంతేగా.
మనం 1 hour ఆర్మీని గేటు దగ్గరే కాదు, మొత్తం ఖాన్సార్లో హై అలర్ట్లో ఉండమనండి.
ఖాన్సార్లో క్యాల్కులేటర్ పెట్టుకుని ఏమీ లెక్క పెట్టలేదు. ఖాన్సార్ ఎరుపెక్కాల, అందుకే లెక్క పెట్టలేని పిచ్చోడ్ని తీసుకొచ్చాను. మండే నిప్పుతోనైనా వీళ్ళ రక్తంతోనైనా. వాడి పేరు
గుర్తుంది బాబా.
ఖాన్సార్ వల్ల చాలా మంది కథలు మారాయి. కానీ ఖాన్సార్ కథ మార్చింది. ఇద్దరు ప్రాణ స్నేహితులు బద్ధ శత్రువులుగా మారడం.
Sure didn't look like a ceasefire.
No, not at all. Not at all. Looks
Maybe it's the reason why there needs to be a ceasefire.
Yeah,
is all of the
probably
warring.
Probably. That looks massive.
It does.
Good Lord.
What's the...
What?
Tranquility. What's the runtime on this kid?
250, I think.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared.
Well, I think you just need to go in with the expectations of KGF.
2.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
But,
that's why I'm a little scared.
well, it is the makers of KGF, so the issue wasn't really the film making, like in terms of like how pretty it was.
Oh,
and,
no.
and how those. I think a lot of the issues with that was the writing, and then not even the dialogue, because obviously it's going to be over the top. It's going to have just big emotions. Everybody's going to have big booming voices. So you're not really going into this for really performance. You're really going in for entertainment more than anything. And I think a lot of where KGF failed, for us at least, was editing for sure. Was very bad, and just it was like no story. It was like every 15 seconds was like
3 hours of loud action in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you don't do that, I think you might be able to have something on your hands.
Yeah,
and it does already look like it has more story than whatever was in KGF 2.
Yeah, the second half there where I saw it's the brothers or the best friends who become enemies. Yeah, I because love many action films.
Yep.
But when the action films really don't have much of a story and are just pretty much, for lack of a better term, they just seem like just brainless action that becomes numbing in terms of sitting through that. It doesn't become entertaining anymore. What becomes entertaining is when it's intermittent and happening in between stuff where you have at the core of it a good story.
Yeah.
Not that it even has to be elevative, just at least a good story that makes me care enough to want to see why they're fighting and what they're fighting for.
Yeah.
But if it felt little PTSD there and reminding me in that length of time, I thought, oh brother, I hope it's not 3 hours of earplugs and just looking at the watch.
I would definitely bring your earplugs.
I bring them to everyone now. I always have my earplugs. But what I'm hoping it's just not 3 hours of like Micah said with KGF 2. He said, I feel like I just sat through a 3-hour commercial.
Didn't mean to play that again.
He said, I felt like I sat through a 3-hour commercial.
Yeah. That was like one of the biggest issues with KGF 2 is one, the editing. It was not good. It was like every 3 minutes was like a different trailer. And then there was some good action, like the end specifically, that end fight scene with the villain that's in every movie now.
Sanjay
Dutt was a good fight scene. Probably the best in the entire movie, from what I remember. But then like others, like the car scene was like 3 seconds, black screen. Like, why would you put a black screen in a movie? Like,
no, there was
that's just bad editing.
No. And recent proof that you can do this and have a good story with some performances that you enjoy watching, so it gives you the whole package, is Jailer.
Yeah. But this is obviously, that's Tamil. And so I would still go in with the I would think it's more of like a KGF meets Bahubali.
I'm going in expecting KGF 2. That way it can exceed my expectations.
Well, yeah, I mean, your expectations are on the floor there.
Yes.
Let's hope it's better than that. Because actually, we're doing a double feature that day.
Yep.
We're actually seeing this in a full house. It is sold out. I mean, our theaters are small.
That will help.
Our theaters are small.
Yeah.
But it's the first day, first show, and it's sold out.
Yep.
And so
awesome.
I wanted to specifically go to this style of film in a full house.
Yep. And I really am just setting aside and thinking, okay, I'm going in for a slam banger. Just enjoy the action. Put the earplugs in because it's going to be loud.
Oh, it's going to be loud.
Let the people enjoy watching Prabhas be his rebel star self.
Yeah.
And then if any of those things happen to surprise me, that'd be a neat little thing.
Yeah. Well, it already looks like 1,000% more story than KGF 2. Because KGF 2
it was
barely a story, and then
impeccable.
and then they just added the love story random song in the second half after they didn't do anything with that relationship in the first half.
Well, it looks, as far as the cinematography, production design, editing, visual effects, stunts,
It's
it
definitely
looks
a grimy
impeccable.
world that they've created, but that was also in KGF 2.
Right.
They did that in KGF 2.
Right.
And so, yeah, there's I'm hopeful, but obviously we've gotten our hopes crushed
Dashed.
before. But if this one wasn't violent, like how we went into Pushpa, we went in because we were expecting violence, and there was
Right.
barely any violence.
Right.
But this one, I think they specifically keep saying like violent, so like it better be violent, right? I mean, they had a leg cut off there.
Yeah, which I think we saw before in the teaser.
Granted, the one thing that it does have going for it, there's a couple of, not one thing that's going for it, but it's Telugu. Nobody does mass better than Telugu in terms of like the big action scenes and the I think the crowds are also usually the best. The best crowd we've ever had was RR,
I'm expecting that. Yes, I am expecting that.
The best crowd we've ever had
Was Triple R.
was Triple R.
Yes.
And then it was pretty good crowd for Patan last year, right?
Yeah.
Not as good,
No.
but it was pretty good. Yeah, I think RR is by far, and this is Telugu.
Yeah.
'Cause-
You know who we had a really good crowd for? The trailer at Comic-Con.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
They enjoyed themselves at that.
Those are Prabhas fans.
They were Prabhas fans, so I'm expecting it to be a hoot.
I'm hoping we get tons of, because that, even if the story is not where you want it, and I'm not expecting like a brilliant story, but if the story's not as engaging as you would hope,
That's the word. I just want to be engaged.
the crowd and their engagement in these style of films, which is what they're made for. These films are made to get the crowd hyped. And that helps because you're like, they're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Yep.
And so that's what I've changed, because originally we were actually going to go to an evening show of this because that was the one that filled up first. And then I saw that the first show filled up. And I was like, oh, get tickets for this because this looks like the real Prabhas fans.
Yep.
And it helps with the getting done early because we got about an hour in between this. So we'll get like our mass fill, and then we'll hopefully get a nice, light, happy donkey. Hopefully both. I hope we enjoy both.
I have always.
Well, I always want to enjoy films, right?
Even
Especially
if
when you're there for all day.
Even if it's somebody who I'm not a big fan of, I'm always going in rooting. I don't ever go in hoping something's gonna fail. Ever. I'm always disappointed if the movie doesn't turn out to be good. Always. I want every movie I ever watch to be good. Why wouldn't you?
Prabhas, his performance compared. I mean, we haven't seen a ton. We've seen Bahubali, right? And
Yeah.
have we seen anything else of Prabhas? I don't think we have. Correct me if I'm wrong there. His performance actually looks pretty grounded here.
I think there's a reason he's a star.
Yeah. Like the camera loves him. His warriorness, he just gives off that vibes.
And it's really interesting because I know that he comes across as the warrior type.
But he's like so
In
quiet.
person, he seems to be a really low-key, doesn't want the spotlight, very quiet, almost shy.
Yeah, he is. And then I think he calls his fans darlings, I think.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like
He seems to be very sweet.
He was, I mean, the 5 seconds of interaction I had with him, he was sweet.
And he didn't really want to go. He went because he's obligated to do it. But when he went to the red carpet for the photos, there was a slight hesitation in him walking on over, and he wanted to be with the fans and do that. But the attention and the light, it didn't seem to be something. Same thing when he was at the table for the Comic-Con thing. It was just very, very different than the screen persona, which is often the case with a lot of actors.
So anyways, let us know what you thought about the trailer. If you're excited, let us know if you already got your tickets down below.
Juice!